How's it going, film and TV fans? Welcome back to another review on the Off the Cuff Film Reviews YouTube channel and the Off the Cuff Film Reviews podcast. Today we are looking at a 2022 film, a recently released 2022 film, at least in the Western world, specifically the US and United Kingdom having the same release date for this movie, but it came out all the way back in June in South Korea, its country of origin, and that is, of course, the wonderfully awesome, the absolutely beautiful brand new movie, Decision to Leave. The South Korean crime romance movie, which is exactly how the director describes it. And this is currently one of my favourite movies of this year. Genuinely, I love this movie so much. It's just like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about South Korea that they truly understand cinema in a way that no other country has ever tried to portray it. And this movie is another example of just immaculately fantastic storytelling, cinematography, score. There's some absolutely gorgeous shots in this movie. So there's a really nice bird's eye over the top shot. There's some lovely shots on a beach, but it's not just the shots and the music, it's actually the fucking story, which is incredible here. It's such a mesmerizingly twisted tale of just so much, crime, love, murder, betrayal. It's all there. It's beautiful. Park Chan-wook's, I haven't seen any of his other filmography, I've only seen this movie, but by God, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It is one of my favourite movies ever made, and I just fucking love it. It's so beautiful. It's such a mesmerising film. It's the way it tells its story is fantastic. It's just, it's the most mesmerisingly beautiful movie I've ever watched. It's gorgeous visuals, a twisted story, wonderful music, and just a wonderful way of telling a story. Like, South Korea really understands cinema, and that's something that is very evident in movies like Parasite and this film. I nearly fell into saying Drive My Car, which is actually not South Korean, it's Japanese, so, I'm an idiot. But anyway, it's just such a wonderful movie, and I'm starting to try to get into subtitled foreign film more and more myself. I'm reaching out into South Korean, Japanese, and French films as well. And I'm going to try some Indian films as well, some big Indian films like Beast and RRR, the most popular ones. But yeah, this is such a incredible movie. It's so well made. I love it so much. Like, I know I say that all the time in these reviews, but genuinely, I have very few movies have ever come out of with such a grip on the story. Like, I genuinely felt I was there when I was watching this movie. I didn't feel like I was sat in the cinema. I felt like I was actually there. I was fully dragged into this movie, and there's very few movies where that's happened to me. I think the only other one that comes to mind really is Boiling Point, genuinely, where it doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like you're just watching this real, like watching real life, which is just crazy. And the fact that this movie has had a crazily small theatrical run in the United Kingdom, at least. I had to trek all the way to my next nearest cinema chain, Cineworld, to go and see this movie because it wasn't showing at my local cinema, and the chain that my local cinema is run by is barely showing at any cinemas at that chain either. So, it's just like, it's a very limited theatrical release in this country, which is a shame, before going to the streaming service Mubi, or Mubi, or however the fuck you say it. So, that kind of thing. It just... it mesmerised me in every single way. Films are meant to make you feel things, and this is one of those films that made me feel a lot of things, because it was so wonderful to watch it. I'm glad I watched it. This is actually the second foreign subtitled film I've seen on the big screen, because I actually did see Parasite on the big screen back in 2019, and that was a fucking experience and a half, and I loved that movie. I don't think that this movie is better than Parasite, personally, but I think that they're pretty much on par with each other, personally. Although part of me thinks Parasite is a slightly better film, but there is not much in it. These two are, and it's really unfair to compare them, because they're both very different and both incredibly brilliant at the same time. So I'm going to stop comparing them and talk about this movie. I know I've reviewed Parasite twice, just ignore that fact. The second review is the better one. I should probably delist the other one if I haven't already. But, anyway, this movie is wonderful. It is just, like, genuinely... I know I'm saying the same shit over and over again, but I was genuinely in awe coming out of this movie, thinking it's just so raw, and the tale of our two main characters is told in such a way that you do believe. One of my favorite things about this movie is there's a lot of moments in the film where our main character, the detective, is speaking, and we see him in, like, say, the female character's room, but he's not actually there, sort of like. And I like that kind of thing. You don't see that in movies very often, where, like, narration is occurring through a character in the room at the same time, but the other characters in the room don't know they're there, kind of thing. It's not narration per se, but it does happen in this movie, and I really like that kind of thing. It's something you don't see very often in films, like I said, and it's really well used and well done here. And also, they use a voice note recording thing on the watch, which is actually an integral part of the whole plot of the movie, and I really think that's a really genius way of going about things like that, by using a device to portray certain characters' feelings and emotions when they're alone. It's just a fantastic way to do it, and it's just an incredible use of technology as a story point, as a focal point of the whole entire movie, which is really cool. And we see flashbacks and stuff like that, and it's all, throwing phones in the river and all that kind of stuff, and there's really a lot to unpack here. A lot of really brilliant and beautiful shots, and brutal imagery as well, in terms of the dead guy's body like rots with flies and stuff. But it's still a fucking fantastic movie, and I would highly recommend you sort it out, because it's a fantastic movie that I highly recommend any film student. Also, I'm a film student, so I enjoyed watching it. I highly recommend this movie because it's wonderful. I struggle to think of a lot of things to say when it comes to movies like this, and it's not because I haven't got anything to say and I don't like the movie. It's because there's so much to unpack that it kind of just gets lost in my brain, which is not a very big place to get lost in. But you know what I mean? It's just so much in this movie. This movie's 2 hours and 18 minutes long, which, coincidentally, I was doing a little, not research, but it came to my attention that Terrifier 2, a movie that came out this year, somehow South Korean crime romance movie and American torture porn movie are the same length. So just let that one settle in. Terrifier 2 and Decision to Leave are the exact same length. I don't fucking know how, but there you go. Yeah, I watched Terrifier yesterday, but anyway, I'm just lost for words with this movie. I've watched it once at cinema now, and it's just so, I just don't get what it is about South Koreans and really being able to just understand cinema in such a uniquely fascinating way, but they really managed to do that and continue to portray that here, and that's what I love the most about it, in all honesty. Yeah, what can I say? It's a wonderful movie, and I highly recommend you give it a watch. Thanks so much for watching or listening to my review of Decision to Leave 2022. Please do check out the podcast. It would mean the world to me. I've just set it up recently. If you are listening to this review, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Answer the poll below. Like I said in the last review, there'll be a poll asking if you're going to watch this movie. Please answer that. It helps the world. And also, feel free to send a voice message, but you can do that on the podcast, not on YouTube. If you want to communicate on YouTube, comment down below. If you want to send a voice message on the podcast, do that down below too. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button on Spotify, hit that notification button on the podcast as well. More reviews coming very, very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out all the other videos and podcasts. Bye bye for now.